Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 31st of January, and I want to think about creating realities to become an active creator, an active participant in creating our own reality. We are not completely autonomous, we never will be, because we are surrounded by other consciousness that have thoughts of their own, and that will forever kind of get in our way. But that is where we have to find the balance between all things, and that is an underlying reality that we have to live with, that we have to accept, that we have to incorporate into what it is we're doing. Ignoring it will not make it go away. Wisdom is to know it is there and to work with it. But to the extent that we can have self-determination and create a good outcome, again, for that you would need to take into account everything else that is around you and the influence that it will have on what it is you're doing. So this is really the way I am going to have knowledge, to become a creator being. Anybody that is looking for a way out of here, to get out of Maya, you're in the wrong place. This is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to get out. I'm looking to be in consciously, knowing what it is I'm doing, understanding what it is I'm doing. So, and I want to talk about creating realities with the word, with a spoken word, with a thought that creates. It says in the Bible, God creates with the word. The word is one of the most powerful creative tools. Thoughts create. They create you, and then they create the reality around you from what you are. You receive reality according to what you are. So you're the creator of yourself, and you must be that. You must be. You must not be created by others. God creates man, no, piss off. Man is well capable of creating himself. And here is, when I speak about the different levels in this world, I always say, and this is Kabbalah, and I'm saying it because I can see it, I think it is truth. Yeah, I'm not repeating like a parrot. I've thought about it. But I keep saying the levels are the mineral, the vegetative, the animal, and man. That's what I say. Kabbalah doesn't actually call the man level man. It calls it the speaking level. The level that is capable of pronouncing words. And that is the creative level, when you're capable of pronouncing words. When you can define something. Defining something is an act of creation. Choosing out of all possibilities one thing and say, let it be. First page of the Bible, let there be. That is a creative act with the word. That is the act of God, creating. And once man is on the speaking level, above the animal, we can start creating realities. Now, animal would get its information on a more intuitive level, on a feeling level, which is a knowledge. It is the knowledge of that which is around you. Yeah, you feel it. And you react on the information received, and that was our foundation, and we should never lose that, because we need to know what is around us to do this correctly, and we need to take into account the right of others that are around us to do this correctly. So that level should still be within us. We're being driven out of that level, out of the animal level, out of that level of knowing, by again saying, oh, you should be on a higher vibration. That is to say, you're only receiving the good information. Or, only part of the information. You're being driven into part truth. But we need to be the fullness of our truth, even on that level, even on the animal level, that is still within us, to do this correctly. But the next level is the level of speaking, to create spells, to create realities. Now, there is so much in this world at the moment, and people are saying, well, we have the one truth, which there is no one truth. We are in a field of all possibilities. The only thing that is true about this is, in order to create, there can only be one truth. You need to think about a specific something, and you can no longer waver from that specific something. The creative act is actually getting out of all possibilities and setting your mind, setting your thoughts on the one, and then the one will be. From what I can see, that is the creative act. So if you have the light of the Inspired channel, let's say, oh, there is one truth, and then they look out there. There is one truth. Now out there is every truth. Out there is the all. And the all is what it says. It's all. There's gazillions of truth out there, because that is what the all is. And here, on the speaking level, you have got choice. You choose out of all possibilities one that you make a reality. First within yourself, know it within yourself, and then it will be given to you. That is what Jesus taught. And I mean, that is what they do. They create truth. And they make it the only truth. I mean, it is propaganda, it is indoctrination, it is programming. All the same thing. I mean, Joseph Goebbels, as evil as that little shit was, he was actually a genius in what he was doing. Propaganda, yeah? And that is just simply that. It is words. A short phrase of words, repeated endlessly, and make it a reality in the mind of the people. It is the sower. It is the sowing of seeds that then grows into a reality inside of the people. And that is how they create realities, through us, through our belief. That is why they are powerful creators of spells. And spells are real. They are real, they create. It's not hocus pocus. They will create realities through us, through our belief. The whole of religion was built on that. Sowing of seeds making it reality in the mind of the people, and the people will then do according to the reality they think they're in. And that has been done all the time. And I don't know to what extent we can stop things going in. I mean, we've got ears, we've got eyes, we've got the internet, we're being bombarded. But Jesus said a man is not defiled by what goes into him, but by what comes out. So I'm not sure that we can stop it from coming in. But we should not, again, go into parrot mode and indiscriminately spew it out again. Because then we are their servants. We become part of their creative act through our actions. So we should always be aware of what it is we're saying and what our words will create. Now I want to talk about David Icke and this other extreme. One, you have the idea that there is only one truth, which is not true in itself. There's tons of truth. It is a creative act to choose one truth and make it a reality. That is a creative act. But David Icke, who's going on about we are all there ever was and ever will be, we are infinite awareness. And here we're going into all. We are all. And at that point, he keeps saying, if we know that they can no longer control us. Well, if we know that, they do not have to control us because we have just become non-player characters, NPCs. We are no longer part of the creative act. So no, they don't have to control us because we are not doing anything in that state. In that spaced out state of I am all. You are creating nothing. Because all and nothing are part of the same thing, varying from each other by degrees. That's the hermetic law of polarity. So, you are in a state of nothing. So, no, they don't have to control you because you're not doing anything. Yeah, you're spaced out idiot. You're definitely no longer a good creator. You are not collapsing all the possibilities into one. You're spaced out in all possibilities and you're doing nothing. Again, there's no definition in all, everything, endless, eternal. All those words, there is no definition in it. The moment you say, eternity contains this, that, or the others, then you're creating possibilities that were contained in eternity to start with. Or all. What is contained in all? I mean, if you start listing that off, it probably will take you several lifetimes just to rattle that down. But the moment you say what is contained in all, then you come to something. And again, here's the hermetic law of all is in everything. Every part was contained in all is in it, but no part is all. And again, there you're creating something specific. That is no longer all, but that is real. That will be a reality. So again, David Icke saying, they're afraid of me because I'm telling people they are infinite awareness, all there ever was and ever will be. No, they're not afraid of you. You're creating non-player characters. I don't think they're afraid of that. But it's funny, I was thinking about that, how he was stopped for a while. Yeah? where, I mean, he still stopped from running around in the Schengen area. He cannot travel or give talks anywhere, but he doesn't have to. He's got the internet, yeah, and he's at the moment flooding the internet with his little teaching. But for a while he was not allowed to do that, and now all of a sudden he's back. Why? Again, you have this sheep herding, yeah? Expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction. But contractions always to, again, a specific truth. Let that sink in, let that work, then expand for a while, and then you're going back into a contraction. So at the moment, David Icke is working the expansion. Yeah? Why? Why now? He's serving them, make no mistake. What he is doing serves them. I do not quite understand why at the moment, but I'm certain that it does. So this is, again, this is where we must start thinking about these things and what they work within us and what it is we're actually doing. Understanding of self, how we function. So what function does this expansion at the moment have? Why is it here now? It is here for a purpose. He is serving a purpose for them. Make no mistake, they're not running afraid of him. And then whenever the time is over for that expansion to be there, they probably chuck him off the internet again when it doesn't serve them anymore. So, yeah, the one truth is the creative act. It is choosing. It is choosing a possibility and make it a reality. And then the last bit is that nothing that comes into being will be there forever. What is in the created is not eternal, never will be. That's another reality, underlying reality, let's say, that we have to work with. There are underlying realities, that are not controlled by us. The fact that we are surrounded by other consciousness, the fact that nothing that comes into being is eternal. Those are underlying realities that we have to accept. Going up against them will do no good. You run yourself against a brick wall. So you have to go with them. And that is wisdom. Wisdom is knowing the underlying reality and not to fight it, but to work with it. And I think, again, they absolutely know that, because they are constantly changing. They're constantly going with it. They're changing form, the form of the story, the form of their words. So we think we are in something new when the underlying thought is still the same, even if the story slightly changes. So they are in constant movement, and that is what reality is. It is creating and going away, creating and going away, creating and going. It is the rhythm of reality that you have to go with, and that you have to accept. I think they have accepted that. They know that. They're not fighting reality. They're working with it. They have the knowledge and they work with it. And they create. So again, when the Inspired channel says, if something can change, it cannot be real. No, that is reality. Reality can change. That is what reality is. You make a choice. You bring it into this reality, but then there will be change. Whatever you bring in will not remain unchanging. That is reality. reality is not solid, therefore it is not real. Bullshit. That is what reality is. It is not solid, therefore it can be shaped, it can be changed. Therefore there can be a creative act. Because if reality was solid and unchanging, there could not be a creative act. Yeah, but again, you're creating words. This is not real. This is not real because it can change. Those are seeds. People put them in their heads and make them a reality. And then it is the place they're living in. And they're not thinking for themselves. Again, they're letting it in. I don't know if we can stop letting it in. Can we stop hearing? I don't think so. You know. I mean, thinking about the 3 wise monkeys, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And what do? I mean, for starters, you only have one pair of hands. You cannot cover everything at the one time. And then what? You just sit there and you know nothing. Is that wisdom? Hardly. So I said, I don't think we can stop what we're letting in. But we should be careful about what we're letting out. And know that our words are creative acts. This is being in reality. This is being in creation, having your being in creation. Knowing how it works to become a master of yourself as a creative being. Being aware of all of your parts and what it is they create. And then becoming a conscious creator. That is being in creation. I said there is a choice. You can get out of Maya. If that's what you're looking for, go to the Eastern traditions. I think they have found the door to get out. Most of the Western traditions, including the Kabbalah and really Western mysticism, is not about going out. It's about creating. It's about becoming a conscious creator. It's about starting to understand how this works. And, right, let me see this as a last thought, and there's choice. What choice do you make? And what is your choice based on? At the moment, I would say for many, the choice of wanting to get out is based on the fact that they think they're helpless, there's nothing they can do, they're being hurt, they're being enslaved, and the whole thing is shit. It is. Yeah? And their decision to get out is based on that. That is their reality. Yeah, I am helpless. I can do nothing. I cannot change anything. Based on that reality, they want out. Or based on that reality, I am helpless. I can do nothing. You know, I'm being hurt. They're looking for the one that will come and make it all better for them and do it for them and heal them and build a beautiful little world for them that they can live in. But that is all based on the perception that you are nothing and that you can do nothing. Now, if just for a minute you would think you are a creator being, there are choices. You can create realities. Yeah? You are a powerful being that can create its own reality. If that became your reality for just one moment, would you still want, firstly, would you still want to get out? I mean, really, do you hate, well, for myself, I don't hate this world. I would love to be in this world in a good way and enjoy it. Yeah? So if you were a creator being, would you want to get out as the only way to change this? And if you were in control of your own reality, would you actually want somebody else to tell you what to do? Or would you want to be independent, if that was actually an option? If being independent was an option, would you choose somebody else to come and rule over you and do it for you? See, both of those options are grown out of a perception of what it is you are and what it is you're in. If you were something completely different, would you choose those options? Anyway, I want to leave it at this at the moment. So, just to say, it is choosing out of all possibilities one and make that a reality inside of yourself. An unwavering reality. That is what it is. It will be. It is and it will be. That is the creative act. And yes, then there can be only one truth. One truth creates. But doesn't mean that that one truth is the only truth in existence. The gazillions of truth. You're making it one. And that is the act of creation. There are underlying realities that you're surrounded by other consciousness, that they have their own ideas. You're not the only thing here. And that is something you have to work with. And that nothing that is being brought into reality is eternal. That's another fact that you have to work with. There will be constant change. Again, that is a choice. Do you want that? Don't you want that? Do you want to be in? Do you want to be out? And the last thing is the spaced out state of I'm all there ever was and ever will be. Is not the highest state of consciousness where you have absolute freedom. That is the state where you are no longer a creator, where you have become a non-player character, an NPC. That's where you're out of it, you're no longer part of it, you no longer create. And no, I don't think the elites are terribly afraid of us being in that state. Yeah? We're no longer a threat to them in that state. Anyway, here, I leave it at that for today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.